I mean, you're going straight in with the hard questions.
I think art is just like a universal language. It's a way for people to express themselves.
To me, it's like the expression of yourself through a medium.
I'd say art is something expressive. I suppose it comes from something emotional or something from your own expertise or even passions and hobbies.
I define it more to do with emotion than anything else.
I think art is when humans try and relate their experiences of life to other people.
I would define art as something that is created with a purpose that isn't purely practical. It's made to look nice or to show something, someone to try and explain something.
Art could be anything. Could be a house, could be architecture, could be music, could be food. I think it's more about if it makes you feel something.
Art is quite hard to define because it's can be tangible or non-tangible. Like music, you can't see it or touch it.
Art could also be anything that creates conversation. So a banana on a wall, some people would say that's not art, but the art of that piece is creating the conversation and bringing them artistic communities together.
It's also one of the last human things that is on this earth. I mean, it's getting taken away by AI now, but it's just a way that's organic and everyone can sort of understand it and take what they want from it.
Depending on who I'm with or my interests at the time, I think they change the kind of art that I make.
You know, as a kid I always was creative, Mr. Maker was always on. And I was always cutting, sticking and doing stuff like that.
I've always felt creative ever since I was a kid. I've loved painting and drawing and making things, keeping my hands busy.
I mean, both of us have been playing guitar for a good while now. And I think when you do play an instrument, you're always working towards the next thing and building what you already know. I think especially since coming to university and forming the band, it's taken it up that next level.
Yeah, I think coming to uni has amplified being creative because you're around, like Pearl said, around other people that are also out there doing something.
I think I've always felt creative, I've always been a creative person. I've only been doing stand-up for about 2 years, but before that, I did a lot of acting, writing, that kind of stuff. I'm always looking to try new things. I think that's so much fun. That's one of the best things about making art, right? Being creative, you can just try so much stuff.
I do have quite creative parents. They're not in the creative industry, but my mum goes all out for Halloween. She makes sculptures and things like that, and my stepdad, he does riding BMXing, so he makes zines and stuff like that.
My dad was a musician, so I definitely grew up in a house that was full of music and full of people that were involved in music. When I was really young, and he was always playing and I was singing along, and I think that's definitely influenced my music.
I feel like I've always been creative my whole life, but being surrounded by people who are so creative and are always doing things pushes me to get off my arse and actually do things as well.
I get a lot of inspiration from other students and working with people on my course and seeing how they develop their creative skills, and then that inspires me to develop mine and learn more about my area.
I think my surroundings do inspire me. I think it's more people that inspire me.
I like to immerse myself in atmospheres and surroundings that are quite creative to inspire. Because I'm a student, I need constant inspiration to get my coursework done and keep up my hobbies. So I really like the art gallery in Manchester, live music gigs.
Yeah, so I do regularly go to art galleries, and I also have a studio. Sometimes when you're at the studio in art galleries, you don't always feel that productivity that you would like to feel from being in them creative spaces. So I think it's important to also go to other areas that don't necessarily have, you know, full white walls with paintings on, and it might be something completely different. It could be a music gig, or it could be going out with friends, surrounding yourself with nature. I think you can find creative spaces anywhere, or find that creativity within any kind of spaces.
My own mind. I think I can when I'm in there, I'm in there, and because I always think about it. You can be anywhere in the world, just in your mind. Isn't that mental? Anyways.
So I recently moved to Manchester. I've lived here for about 6 months now, and I definitely think that it's full of creative spaces, right? It's a huge city, it's so vibrant, like there's so much going on, it's incredible.
I take photography for a new cafe that's opened up called the Shoegaze Cafe in Manchester in the Northern Quarter, and I do kind of like experimental like shoegazy shots and for the bands that go on there, and I put them up on the wall in like a little exhibition space.
I'd say in a band you sort of have to. I mean, we've been practicing here since we've started, so I think this is where the bulk of our sort of creative output comes from, as well as we're sort of gigging now as well.
Yeah, I got a few more gigs on the run. I think that being able to practice in here and like build up to the gigs is it's just you can sort of express a lot of your own, you know, inspirations through the guitar and stuff like that, and putting it in one space where everyone's here and putting it into music is like, it's fun.
I think everything about what we do is so visual, especially the kitchen's like really open, and so it's really important how you move your body, and even just how you interact with the table and how you put things down and go away from them, and it's all about things flowing, and everything's very beautiful, and everything's very like specific. And everything's there for a reason. I think it's quite creative.
You know, as a comedian, a lot of the venues that I perform at are like, you know, the basement of some pub somewhere or something like that. And it's like, they're always fun, they've always got their own good vibes, you know, but I much prefer performing in a theatre. I think like the atmosphere is just so, like, you can't really replicate it anywhere else, I think.
Being at work, I can't stand my job. But it does give me the opportunity to spend hours thinking about things and developing things. And then I think also our house, so me, Sam and Theo live together, and we just like, sometimes we'll just sit and chat in the lounge or the kitchen, and even that will like contribute as a creative space for me.
I come here in the summer a lot to watch music gigs, but then also come for walks here, and I think it's also got a huge historical significance, which I love to be around. I love to be around a bit of history.
Because I love nature and animals, and it's something that brings me happiness, and I feel like that's just what inspires me to make art. When I'm around things that like bring me peace or joy, it makes me want to make things to like showcase like what I'm grateful for, what makes me happy.
Because I feel the most vulnerable, probably, on my own. Definitely after a long day, or like after you've had a heavy emotional day, that feeling when you come home and you sit down, it like hits you. And that's when I want to write music.
I think like the actual space itself is like, it's very grungy, it's like a bit crappy, and that's like what you'd expect.
Yeah.
So then when you actually come to a place and it's like that, you're like, this is pretty cool, isn't it? You know, with all the stuff on the wall and like PAs and broken speakers and shit. It's just
I
like,
think it mirrors our sort of musical
and I think
vibe,
that brings it out like in you, doesn't it?
The northern quarter of Manchester in particular is a really inspiring place for me. You know, I think there are lots of like, not only the sort of physical aspects like the graffiti and everything like that, but you know, the kind of shops, the kind of people that you see walking around here. I'm inspired by like, you know, everyone that I meet on the street, you know. I think it's really fun. Looking the way that I do, I get like a lot of like strangers talking to me on the street, just being like, oh, I love your hair and stuff, you know, and it's really nice.
My dad like runs this space at the moment, and I guess like like seeing him do something creative like also inspires me, as well as these lovely free people around me. So yeah.
I introduced to home cinema through my course, but I really like it because they show not only big feature films but smaller productions, and they show our productions on our course at uni. So it kind of motivates me to keep making things, even if it doesn't completely work out. It's still someone's going to appreciate it.
Well, like where my interest lies is that I really want to go into like fashion image making, like, and photography and stuff like that. And this place has not only like small little zines from smaller creatives, which is what I'm doing at the moment, but it also has like the big publications, which is where I end up ultimately wanting to be. And like going in here and like seeing all of that beautiful work, I just get blown away every time.
Honestly, like, I know it sounds weird as someone who's into film, but music probably inspires me the most. Like when I'm writing like a film or something, I'll have like specific like albums and like songs that relate to like the story or the characters and stuff.
And just consuming like media that inspires me, like watching movies that inspire me, that I think are like beautiful bits of art, or like reading articles about other people's creative journeys and like inspirations.
Or honestly, YouTube. I watch so much like weird, obscure, like experimental, weird stuff.
I think it's also just like the sense of expression of like you know, for you and me, when we listen to music, you know, like that we really like, we're just like normal. And then to be able to play that and let that come out in a band, which like people actually will come and watch, and like at gigs and stuff, it's like it feels like the ball really is like rolling, and that's and it just like, you know, it's just like a domino effect. It just kicks into gear really.
There's this one girl called Anne Modern who just like documents her life, stuff like that. Also just experimental like colours, shapes, I like that kind of stuff.
I think I just like the satisfaction of like making something that's like pretty and that like, other people can appreciate.
I kind of got into comedy because, well, first of all, I love watching it, you know. I think that's anyone's first inspiration, but it was really fun for me because it was something that I kind of could wholly do myself, if that makes sense.
I've always sort of like seen like art and photography and things like that as like something that's really far away, and then one day to be able to like create something where I'm like, oh wow, like I would actually want to buy this, or I would actually want to look at this. I think that is really what like inspires me, and to make something that other people enjoy and would like inspire others to create.
I don't really write it for anything or anyone. It's just for release.
This is sort of more of a weird one, but I feel like my dreams inspire me quite a lot. Like mine are, I don't know what is going on up there, but it's pretty weird, so it's quite cool to like take inspiration from what I'm dreaming about, I guess.
I think you can find a snippet of creativity anywhere if you look hard enough. A lot of the time it is in places like this where you're surrounded by people and different sounds, music, traffic rushing, just day-to-day life really.